Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Naima Butler, Assistant Director of Employer Relations. I'm in the Office of Career Development at NSU. We thank you for joining us today. We have Brianna Green from Freedom Mortgage, who's going to be discussing their mortgage advisor role within their organization, answering any questions that you may have regarding the opportunity and the organization. So without further ado, I turn it over to Brianna.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon. I don't know what time of day you'll be watching this, or if we're in the afternoon now, but I'm Brianna Green. I work with Freedom Mortgage on the campus recruiting side. You can see Andrew Compton is also logged in. He and I work together to recruit top talent for the First Flyers program, which is a great post-grad opportunity that we offer here at Freedom Mortgage. This program is specific to 4 locations within Freedom Mortgage. So South Florida, through our Boca Deerfield offices. We also have this program in Maryland, as well as New Jersey, which is our headquarters, in Arizona. So it is an exclusive program within Freedom Mortgage. It's a year of paid training. So what I mean by that is, with this program, we believe in continuing your education and, helping you learn and grow before we kind of throw you out there, without the training wheels. So first and foremost, we are recruiting for our mortgage advisor program, which enables you to be a licensed loan officer and speak to existing clients with ours, as well as new potential leads to kind of start handling their mortgages. So just one thing about the mortgage industry, when mortgage rates drop, it is an extremely busy time for a company like Freedom Mortgage, simply because we have competitive rates. When those rates drop, we're able to, assist our existing clients and leads even further to kind of help them get the best rate. So when mortgage rates drop, just like they have due to COVID-19, we're able to kind of call everybody and say, hey, we can save you X amount of dollars on your monthly payment. What makes sense to you? What's going on in your financial situation? Are you okay with everything? So there's a huge customer service aspect to the position that we're recruiting for as well, simply because you'll be on the phones, speaking with everybody. So the training program is really set up into 3 phases. So phase 1 is all about getting licensed through the SAFE exam that is administered through the NMLS. That is what allows you to be a licensed loan officer with us. We do offer the first month of the program is all about studying for that exam. So it's 40 hours a week of classroom setting, kind of getting the ins and outs of the knowledge of that. We provide great, all the study materials. We have trainers, managers, people who have taken the test, kind of teaching this course so that they can kind of impart what they've gone through, help you understand how to take the test, which is always an important element, right? If it's going to be multiple choice or essay, or, pick the best answer, and like 3 of them are right answers, but one's more right than the other, things like that. So you do sit for the SAFE exam. We do pay for that. Once you pass the exam, you move to phase 2, which is all about becoming a subject matter expert in who we are and what we do. So that's definitely really important, because I'm sure, as if you've done any kind of customer service, and you don't know anything about the company or what you're supposed to do, it's definitely terrifying to get on the phone. So we want to avoid that. We want to make sure you're comfortable and confident by the time you move to the sales floor. So phase 2 is all about understanding that knowledge, understanding what we can offer people, and, kind of starting to form your own language. Because with a sales role, you may get a baseline script, but if you read off of it your entire career, it's going to sound like a script, right? It's not always the most natural sounding in our mouths. So you kind of take a script, make it your own, figure out what sales language is going to work for you, how it makes you comfortable. We do a lot of role playing and shadowing. On the back end, we do get you licensed in up to 8 states your first year. So we take care of that, and that's really exciting, because obviously the more states that you're licensed in, the more leads you have to call upon. Then you move to phase 3, which is being on the sales floor. So you move from, more classroom setting to a smaller team. Maybe you're under a team lead or a manager, and you start going. The leads are already loaded into your computer database, and you start calling. You'll call people who have existing mortgages with Freedom Mortgage, check in. It's always nice to say, how are you doing with everything? Are you staying safe? Or is there any way, we can help you? Well, here's one way. Your mortgage rate has dropped. I can actually save you X amount of dollars on your monthly payment. Is that something you were interested in having a conversation about? So you move to the sales floor. A big reason why we structure it as a year of paid training is because phase 3 is training. It really is. The first couple of calls are going to, be more practice for you than anything you've learned in phase 2, because you're putting that knowledge into application. So we structure this program to give you a safety net. We don't offer commission the first year because we want to give you that safety net and want to make sure that you're comfortable, you're confident, and that you have good momentum to earn the bulk of your money on commission, as opposed to giving you a very small base or no base at all and making it all commission. So we structure it to give you that safety net, to kind of give you that feel. The First Flyers program is definitely a star program within Freedom Mortgage. It's a great stepping stone for leadership. A lot of our leadership has really stemmed from this program. So it kind of gives you a leg up when moving throughout the company. But it definitely sets up a great foundation for sales, for customer service, for any first career, so soon after college. It's a great stepping stone. You learn a lot about yourself, as well as different industries. So it is a very kind of exciting career, as well as a challenging but rewarding. That was kind of just like the 10,000 feet, brief overview. Of course, if you're interested in learning more of the ins and outs, you can always reach out to me. I believe I have my email address on here. And I'll just keep that up for anybody who wants to reach out to me and learn more. But we are actively hiring people who have graduated 2018 or later. So we are open to alumni as well. We are looking for dedicated professionals ready to work, ready to learn, but ready to have a lot of fun. And we do offer this specific program 3 times this year, one in June, one class in August, and one class in October. So there's definitely openings to apply. We do love NSU alumni for sure, and as well as who are still enrolled. We're happy to stay here in South Florida and kind of recruit in our backyard. So let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah. Brianna, thank you for the presentation and overview of the role. Can you tell me, how many chances does an individual get to take the mortgage exam?
So you do get the first try on us, and we pay for that exam the first try. If you don't pass that first try, you are given a second try. And if you don't pass out a second try, you are dismissed from the program. But with that being said, phase 1, 40 hours a week for 3 to 4 weeks of classroom setting, you're definitely well prepared going into the exam. The people who don't pass are people who may not have taken it seriously. It's very rare that we dismiss somebody from the programs.
Gotcha. So are they taking the exam after the 4 weeks in training, or when do they sit for the exam?
Yep, after the 4 weeks in training. So you'll start getting, if the class is starts June 1st, you start June 1st. Well, obviously it'll be a little bit more remote now with everything going on. So what'll happen is we ship you all your equipment and your study materials. You start classroom setting, over Zoom and kind of start the position over Zoom. And you'll sit for the exam. I'm not sure if it's going to be in a testing center or if it's going to be remote, what exactly that looks like come June, July, just with everything that's changing. But you will set for that after that 4-week period. So, but since you start your job with Freedom Mortgage, you do start getting paid, that June 1st. So the first day is kind of the start of phase 1, and you do get paid, the whole time.
Gotcha. Can you talk about maybe a little what you guys are looking for in that ideal candidate in regards to, maybe academic discipline or, a skill set, particular skill set that you're looking for.
Sure. What I look for in candidates are definitely the intangibles. So we can teach you everything you need to know about the mortgage industry, about sales. We can coach you on, maybe your tone of voice. Maybe you need to be a little bit more aggressive. Maybe you need to not be as aggressive, things like that. What I can't teach you is, how to have a conversation with somebody. Obviously, you'll be on the phone a lot. That definitely matters if you can carry on a conversation. Small talk is definitely a part of business. So that's definitely, important to be able to have a conversation with somebody and be personable, especially over a phone. I look for somebody who's hardworking, dedicated, and with your backgrounds, whatever it may be, whether it's you worked all through college or you got involved on campus or you had a 4.0 GPA, different things tell me different things about your different positions tell me different things about kind of your commitment, your dedication. If you have a 4.0 GPA, I obviously can tell that you are very dedicated to your studies. If you had a job, at a restaurant all 4 years of college, you're obviously very dedicated to not only the restaurant that you're working to, but, creating that income for yourself. So I do look for that dedication, hardworking, and definitely willingness to learn. Because you're going to be learning so much new information, it's important to want to learn it and continue your education. So I kind of look for those intangibles as opposed to you must have, 6 years of sales experience, 6 years of customer service, and all those bullet points on a resume. So I treat every conversation that I have as just that, a conversation, and we kind of discuss what makes sense for you as well as what makes sense for us.
Gotcha. Thank you. Isaiah or Josiah, do you have any questions?
Yeah, so would this position be completely a remote position?
So it is not a remote position. If we're talking about the June class, that's most likely going to start remotely with the understanding that it's not a remote position. It is an office position. So once we kind of get the all clear for everybody to go back in the offices, we'll transition people back into the offices in waves. So the people who start in this program may not be the first people in the office. They may not be the last. That'll, be developed as we get new information as to what's going on with COVID and what kind of security measures we'll have to take, like protective, equipment, as well as, new cleaning measures, making sure that the office space is safe and sanitary for the number of people to be in there. So it will most likely start remote, as of our June class, but it is not a remote position to its core.
Another question I had was regarding the sales position. So you said that after you pass the test and everything, then you'll be transitioned into the sales role, and that would that be incentivized, or how does that work?
Excuse me. So with the sales role, because you don't earn commission your first year to kind of allot for the training, because phase 1, phase 2, you're not on the phone, there's no opportunity to earn commission. We don't want that to affect you financially. So there are milestones, sales milestones that you can hit once you're on the phones, benchmark bonuses that you can achieve throughout the year until you hit year 2 when your commission turns on. So we do offer, financial compensation, for milestone events and bonuses. What it looks like for one person to another, that could definitely be different depending on numbers, metrics, overall attitude, performance, whatever the case may be. But we do have a higher base and then kind of those bonuses that you can accrue throughout the year.
So after the first year, would it be 100% commission, or would it be salary and commission, or how does that work?
It would be salary and commission. It's a lower base than what we'd be offering for the first year, but your commission does kick in. And with that commission structure, can be very lucrative. If I were to pull the averages right now, they're probably obscenely high just from the influx of business that we've had and the amount of workload we've had in the last month and a half. So they're not true averages in normal circumstances right this second.
So is it completely a decrease in salary? Does the salary completely go away once you reaches a certain level of commission, or how does that work?
So long-term, your salary may go away depending on kind of the level that you're performing at. That's down the line. That's not something in like the near future in the next 5 years of this program. It may, and your commission can totally go away with the development of a new position. There's a lot of different stepping stones in this, from this job to a career with us, whether you stay in sales or explore a different area of the company. So it's kind of hard to say, when exactly it'll, things will turn off. But we always try to give you at least a smaller base to kind of keep you afloat, and kind of have a safety net, a cushion.
And sorry to ask so many questions.
No, it's okay.
And what would be the base salary coming in, or the base pay?
Sure. So for the first year, it's $47,500. So it is, on market. It's actually above market salary for a sales role. And then with kind of those benchmark bonuses, on average, we usually see our first years make between $50,000 and $52,000 all in. There's definitely people who make above that, based on bonuses, people who are rock stars, which is awesome. And they get, bigger bonuses based on performance metrics. Again, like I said, but moving to year 2, your base does fall to $35,000, but that's when your commission kicks in and you already have your momentum as you've been closing sales, in phase 3 of the first year. So your momentum kicks in and your commission, structure, does start year 2, day 1. And we usually see, our first year, our second years out of this program make between 100 and 150,000 on average. Small percent makes 80 to 100, even smaller percent makes 150 to 250. Again, those are averages. If I were to pull them right now from the last month and a half, they look a lot different. So much of what we do depends on the market and depends on what's going on in the environment, around us. So those are averages that are subject to change. But the good part about sales is you can keep working until your financial statements reflect what you want.
Okay, and that's my last question, I promise. Now regarding that, what you said about it decreasing after the year, so it goes down to the 35. Okay, that's fine. Now my question is the list given a hot list? Do you guys provide us with a contact list? Do we have to develop our own list?
All leads are provided for you. There's no sourcing, there's no cold calling. It's definitely warmer leads. There are actually 2 tracks to our program, which I can cover more in depthly if you are trying to learn more about the program, just because they take a little bit more explanation. But the 1 track, basically the leads are all qualified. They're people who sign up to hear more and might be shopping mortgage rates. So they might be receiving calls from competitors, from similar companies. And the other side of it is calling our existing clients when the mortgage rates drop and, saying we want them to obviously refinance with us and not go anywhere else. So we are able to refinance with them and keep the business in there. So they're all qualified leads. There's no cold calling, which is nice because, when I think cold calling, I think going door to door, sales, and that's just an, extra element of hard and a different type of rejection. These are all warmer leads. They're people who know who we are or know that they are getting calls. So it's definitely all warmer and there's no sourcing. You're not responsible for your own leads. And because you're licensed in up to 8 states, you could be calling leads in Florida. You could be calling leads in Alabama. You could be calling leads in Oregon. So there's no travel to that either.
And Freedom Mortgage is allowed to service all 50 states?
All 50 states, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico.
All right, perfect.
Great questions, Isaiah.
Yeah, great questions. Don't ever feel bad about asking too many questions, ever.
Josier, do you have any questions?
Well, I'm glad Isaiah asked a lot of questions because those were the same questions I had. And I just wanted to thank you guys for this meeting because I was looking to become a loan officer originator because I saw that there was a lot of potential in this industry. The only part that scared me was the fact that I had to get a license, you know, and it was confusing. I didn't know like what courses I would have to go through to get the license and the cost and everything. So I just want to thank you guys for this presentation. I do have some questions. I understood that the first class starts in June, right?
Correct.
And how long would that program be?
So it's every program's a year. So June 1st, 2020 to June 1st, 2021. At the end of the year cycle of that program. So say May 30th or May 29th, whatever, you know, close to that date, we hold a big graduation ceremony to congratulate you for making it through the program. It's really nice, you know, like special awards, things like that. And then you move to year 2.
Okay. And what's phase 1 and phase 2? Can you repeat that again for me?
Yeah, so phase 1 is classroom setting. It's all about getting the information kind of down pat about the SAFE exam and kind of studying that to ensure that, you know, you can actually pass it, which shouldn't be an issue for anybody because, like I said, 40 hours a week of classroom setting, like you're gonna know this information, I promise. And then phase 2 is all about becoming a subject matter expert in who we are, what we do, and what we can offer, as well as developing your sales language.
Okay, so phase 1 is more about passing the exam, and phase 2 about subject matter, about the company.
Correct.
Okay, and so I graduate. I mean, I can either graduate in. I'm gonna be a senior in fall, and I graduate either in January or of next year or April of next year. So obviously, I wouldn't be able to start this June.
Correct. We will have classes next year as well. I know for sure we're going to have a January class. What the rest of the dates look like vary in the early stages of like nailing down those dates. If I had to guess, there would be another June class next year. There's definitely going to be a January class. We might have one in between, maybe like a March, April class as well. That's a little tentative right now. I don't have those physical dates in front of me because they haven't been solidified. But we do offer, we are going to be offering it next year, the following year, year after that, year after that. So if you're graduating, you know, tomorrow, or you're graduating, you know, in 2023, we will still have classes. We do still actively recruit, even if you're not, you know, eligible for this June 1st class. We are always, you know, open and looking to have a conversation and kind of give you more information. We've sent out, you know, offers a year in advance before. It's definitely something common in college recruiting. So we can definitely still consider you for a program, just not the ones that happen until you receive your bachelor's.
Right, right. So a big plus is already having my bachelor's ready and having a good GPA to be able to start the program, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I mean, you know, GPA is great. It shows me dedication to your studies. As well, and the bachelor is what's required. We do need everybody to have a bachelor's degree and just kind of have that, even if, you know, because I know with COVID-19, you know, even though you graduate in 2021, what it'll still look like graduation, it's not like you have to go through the formal graduation ceremony. You just have to have kind of the certificate that says, okay, you completed all your classes that you usually get like a week before you walk.
Right. Okay. And one last question, with everything going on and the huge impacts, the negative impacts this is going to have on the economy. Obviously, interest rates are extremely low right now, but how do you see this industry in the next year or two?
So great question. Actually, the president of our company just addressed that and you know, shared data with us that because of everything that's happened and continuing to happen, we are predicting that mortgage rates are going to drop again this year. So that will still, you know, kind of, you know, pipeline more business as well. We're pretty much sitting in a really good space just because of the work that we do in the industry that we're in. When the economy falls and mortgage rates fall, our business increases. When the mortgage rates are super high, our hiring kind of goes down a little bit because we don't have as much need. There are still going to be people who could refinance or, still need a mortgage, but it won't be the massive influx that it's happening right now. So we are in a really good spot for the next 2, 3, 4 years. What it looks like beyond that, only time will tell. But we are, actively hiring. We are kind of in crazy mode right now with how much work we have, and we almost don't have enough people to kind of catch all the money right now. So we are working, like our loan officers are working a lot to continue that and continue like a great path of growth.
Thank you.
Great questions, by the way.
Thank you, Brianna. Question, Brianna. By chance, do you guys have internship opportunities?
So down here in Florida, we don't have an internship program right this moment. It doesn't mean that can change, and it could be something that's in the works, in the future. Right now, this is the entry-level program that we have. Like I said, if you're graduating in May 2020, or if you're graduating in 2023, we can always still have a conversation. We do recruit, out to our different classes. Obviously, with a 2023 grad, you may think you know what you want to do right then, right there. It could be the same by the time you graduate. It could be the other side of the spectrum. So it's a little bit of a different recruitment style and different process. But we do talk to people of all ages, of all graduation dates about our program, just kind of for future pipeline and for future opportunities. But as of right now, we don't have an active internship program down here, but that could change in the future.
And I know currently the June class will be remote. When it transitions back, what office would they report to from the program?
Sure. So they'll be between the Boca and the Deerfield Beach offices. We are hosting our training between those two offices because ultimately one track sits in one office, one track sits in the other, but they are fairly close by. They're about 15 minutes from each other. It's not like, West Boca and East Deerfield, where it's like 6 hours to get there, it feels like. It is a true 15 minutes. It's a quick commute. So we ask that people kind of be prepared for one or the other.
Gotcha. We just had someone to join us. Hi, Anessa. How are you? Hello? Anessa? Okay. Well, that concludes the presentation. We thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Brianna, for your time. Josie, do you have any final questions for Brianna?
Yes, I had 2 more questions. The first question would be, how many spots will we have open up in this June?
So we have classes of no more than 30 people. So we do have about maybe 10 spots or less in June. But we also have an August class that has a lot more spots, as well as an October class. So if the June class does get filled up, we can look at an August, October date and just kind of, not pause on the process, but just kind of know that it's a little bit out just because June is rapidly approaching. I mean, May is Friday, which is insane, but we do still have about 10 spots available.
Okay, and what's the process in order to apply for the company? Just email you that we're interested, a resume? Or?
Yeah, if you email me your resume, please just remind me of where you contacted me. Hi, I saw you over, the Nova, recorded video, or you were in the live session. Would love to, set up a time, learn more. And from there, I will reach back out and say, oh yeah, I remember you. Or like, great, I'm glad that you watched the video. And set up an interview with me. We'll kind of talk a little bit more about you. I'll go a little bit more in depth about the program, and then we would take it from there.
All right.
What is your interview process like following the interview? There is it they meet with maybe the hiring managers, or is it like a series of interviews? Or
Yep. So after me, you would meet with a VP of regional sales who kind of acts as our branch manager, our office manager, and he would be the final kind of stage in the process. And he would kind of determine who gets an offer and who doesn't. So it's a 2-step process. It's going to be all over Zoom at this point. We would love to have you on site, but unfortunately that's not a possibility right now. So it would be all via Zoom. And I know that finals are happening. They might be in session for you guys or in the next week or so. You might have
This
already
week
done
are
them.
finals.
Okay.
Yes.
So we are conscious of that. We are conscious if you have a graduation event or, like that you're celebrating while social distancing, that's fine. We do accommodate, especially during finals week, and kind of wrap up weeks. We do accommodate for your schedule.
Gotcha. Thank you, Brianna. Thank you, Andrew, for
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us and for giving us the opportunity to speak to you all and to kind of present our platform. It really is a great program. And again, if you are interested, go ahead and shoot me an email and let me know.
Thank you, and all the best, and everyone stay safe. Have a great one.
You as well. Thank you.
Bye-bye.